Welcome back to St. Isidore's Farm and our ongoing series, This Old Quonset Hut, as we're in the process of turning this metal building into a proper workshop, woodworking shop especially. It is a beautiful but frosty morning here on the homestead, and we have less than 48 hours until I have to go back to work to get this project completed, or at least the part that we wanted to get completed before I go back to work. So if you've been following along with the series, you know that we finished roughing in the plumbing and electrical yesterday. So today we have to do the thing that is not the most exciting, nobody really looks forward to, which is putting in insulation, then putting in the sheathing, which hopefully will capture and get uploaded as a video, and maybe if we get work fast enough, we'll put together a video of trimming out the plumbing and the electrical for this half of the building and starting to move some things into place so that we can start working on the other half of it. All right, we got a lot to do, and it's chilly out here, so we're gonna get inside and get to work. Whew, all right, we have been at it hard all morning, and just a word of gratitude to this guy for cutting all of this insulation and staying ahead of me putting it up. It's not fun putting it up, but it makes it a lot easier when he just keeps handing it to me. And one thing that's been really nice is putting it up in the 2-foot and 4-foot sections makes it really manageable to get it stapled up. So we're gonna go eat lunch, starving, ready to eat. Yeah. And then we'll come back, and we've just got these two 16-foot long sections, 4 foot on either side, and then down the middle. Once we get that done, it's time to start cutting the OSB sheathing, and that'll be a little bit tricky. Some places it'll go fast, but when we got to cut around all of the receptacles and other things, that'll take a little bit of time this afternoon, but I think we're doing okay. A little bit, would have liked to have had all the insulation done before lunch, but well, we're working as fast as we can, and still have time this weekend to get this half of the shop wrapped up. So, all right, let's go eat. Okay. Before we close this up with insulation and sheathing, just wanted to document this one issue with our building. When they put this building in, I don't know if when they started down there at the ends and that end and worked their way into the middle, and then when they got here, it didn't fit, so they had to bash this one rib in order to get it to fit. Let's go up and take a look at that closer. All right, so you see right here, this is the normal ribs as they go down, that we have about a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch clearance above the framing that we put in. But as you come over to this one, you can see we had to cut this out, and it drops down really 3.5 inches, because there's still about a 1/2 inch of clearance right here, maybe even less, 1/4 of an inch there, and it comes over. And the result of their work to make this fit, there was a hole right here. They perforated it, just the fatigue stress on the metal. There was one little hole right here, so we have put a bunch of silicone in there and sprayed a leak fix on top of all of this and hopefully resolved it. But now we're having to put some blocking in, because this is no longer a 14.5 inch space between the rafters, I guess we'll call them, going up. It's much wider, so I have to put a little bit of blocking over here to hold the insulation up, but just wanted to document that before we go on. All right, so we typically try to shoot a video at the end of the day of what we've done, but Isaac, who's on the camera now, and I were honestly so tired yesterday that we walked out of here and didn't even didn't even think about it. 12 hours spent getting all of this insulation up everywhere. Isaac cut every single piece of this, and I put it all up. As I said, did it in the 2 and 4 foot sections, which was really helpful, but it's still a lot of up and down on the ladder, and there were a lot of places and things where we had to cut extra blocks of wood blocking, especially along the back edge up at where the ceiling and the wall meet, trying to fill odd gaps and shapes, and also put pieces of wood in preparation of getting ready to cut the sheathing today. So we're going to start. Don't know if we're going to finish today. So this is the last day before got to go back to school tomorrow. So we're going to try and get as much sheathing hung today as we can. We're going to start over here and get maybe this side up, and then we'd have to go back to Lowe's and go buy more sheathing. But we'll see how it goes. As you just saw, having to rip with a circular saw, unfortunately, the OSB. You can see this joint between these two pieces goes from 0 opening up to about 3/8 of an inch, almost half an inch. And when we had these pieces up, there was already about 1/8 of an inch gap, a little bit less from here to here. What's happening, and it's sort of hard to, I should have checked this, but it's sort of hard to tell, is that this sections where they come together right here on the wall, and it's a good reason for running top plates across joints instead of doing what I did, which is all of the joints come together in one place, but actually putting a top plate across them that holds them you know, in a straight line. So what I've got is that the joint is bowing in a little bit this way, and when it's doing that, it's, as you can see up to there, when we snapped a line on those two pieces at the top, it's going from 0 at that end to a little over half an inch, maybe 9/16 of an inch here, and the gap is opening up. So what we're doing is snapped a line down here, trimming this off, which is hopefully going to bring these back down, take that gap out, and bring this back into a straight line. We'll see in just a second. Got one of these 4x8 foot panels up there without killing ourselves. So this time we're going to videotape it. Didn't do it the first one because I wasn't sure how it would work, but the idea is we've got 2 blocks, 2x4s, screwed in at the bottom somewhat loosely. There's a little bit of play so that the boards will slide down in there. And then there's a gap at the top of the 10-foot ladder that we can slide the sheet of plywood up onto, and then that way it's resting on 3 points and we don't really have to hold the whole weight up there. So we'll see how it goes. Hold that. ladders, you're gonna have to go up over your head. Again, just resting on here. And then aim for getting it into the 2x4. So we trimmed off from 0 about 3/8 of an inch of material off of this board, these boards, and you can see it closed up the gap a fair amount here, and now we have a perfectly straight line. Ignore that blue chalk line. That was the original one before we trimmed it off. And we did end up having to take a little bit off of these pieces as well to get a straight line. But now if you look at the 4x8 foot sheets of OSB that are sitting on there, the gap at the top of these is really only about 1/8 of an inch at most at the top. It's very tight together down here at the bottom. You can certainly live with that, but the moral of the story here is this is going to take us a little bit more time to get these pieces up than we had hoped. Well, my 2-week break is over. Go back to work tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to, but it means we came up a little bit short on the goal we had of finishing sheathing half of this Quonset hut. We worked really hard almost every day of this 2-week break. Some days really long, like yesterday, 12 hours. And we did get a lot done. I mean, everything is completely framed out. All the plumbing and electrical roughed in for half of the building. We added more sheathing to this side. We got 6 feet by 16 feet added up there. But that's just going to take a little bit more time. As you see in the video, it takes a little bit more. It's not as forgiving as when you're doing sheetrock and you've got tape and mud and you can make up gaps. We're trying to get those things really tight together. That's gonna take some time, so I don't want to rush it, and no point. I mean, honestly, we just ran out of time and truthfully a little bit of gas here at the end. So things will take a little longer to get finished now that I'm back to work full time. We'll pick it up in the evenings and on weekends and try and upload videos. But it should be pretty exciting. Look forward to getting this up, all the rest of the sheathing up, and showing you that. And some of the things are coming in, like the sink and the water heater, getting the toilet. And so it'd be fun to show those things trimmed out as well, all the electrical and plumbing trimmed out in this half of the building. So thank you again to everybody who has been following this series. Videos have been coming kind of quickly because we were working on it quickly, but now they'll space out a little bit. So until we see you in the next video, I hope everyone has a very blessed and happy new year. Thank you again for watching, and until we see you in the next video, God bless. The lesser rhombicosa dodecahedron beanbag that I made in college now looks like a really nice dog bed. What do you think, Colby? Colby. Comfortable?
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Colby.